It's the first word.
All right. A job opening for the Titans franchise for the first time in 17 years. That's going back to when they were oil men. What was first a Jeff Fisher, Vince Young, this town ain't big enough for the both of them scenario is now Bud Adams, only the lonely. Young still technically with the team, though the owner says he won't be. As for Fisher, what did you think of this, Bill Plaschke?
You know, I love Jeff Fisher. He's a great guy, a great coach, but enough is enough. He couldn't get along with the quarterback. The quarterback was gone. His defensive line coach left. His quarterback's coach left. 17 years there. He won 5 playoff games. Has not won a playoff game in 7 years there. He had the last 7 years, he had 5 different losing streaks in more than 5 games. Again, he's a great guy, but I think his time was up in Tennessee. It was definitely time for him to part ways with them because he couldn't get along with a lot of the people there, including the owner, Bud Adams.
Woody Page.
I thought the timing was awful to begin with because you've just announced if you're Bud Adams that your quarterback's not coming back, you're going to release or trade him, and now you get rid of the coach. And it was somewhat unfair to him. If you were going to fire him, why not do it while there were 7 or 8 jobs available? But Bill is absolutely right. The time came for Tom Landry, for Chuck Noll, Mike Shanahan here in Denver. After a while, you just wear out your welcome. I was down there last year, and the people were grumbling that they hadn't had a successful team that's gone very far in the playoffs for years. They wanted him out of there. It was time for
Tim Kalishaw.
Well, the timing was bad, but I don't know why Woody's talking about Tom Landry and Chuck Noll, people like that. We're talking about Jeff Fisher. Bill Plaschke was right. You know, 16 years, 16 full seasons, got to 1 Super Bowl, did not win it, won the division 4 times. That's about how many times you should win a 4-team division. He's barely over 500 as a coach. You know, he's done a good job. He did not do a great job. He's an above-average coach. The time it was for him to go.
Kevin Blackistone.
Yeah, no tears for Jeff Fisher. I mean, he walks away with $8 million. That's pretty good to not do nothing for about a year except maybe sit in a television booth and make some more money. So good for him. But as far as the Titans, if I'm a Titans fan, I'm going, what are you doing, Bud Adams? You embarrassed us 1 year, but with your finger salute from the owner's box. Now you've jettisoned our coach. You've jettisoned our future as a quarterback that we thought Vince Young was, who, oh, by the way, is like 31-17 or something like that as a starter. What are you going to give us for a coach? You're talking about hiring somebody off a staff that everybody has just pointed out has been fairly mediocre when you go back and look at it.
So the whole timing of this, and we'll start with you, Plaschke, does that put the Titans at a disadvantage going forward?
Yes, it does, but sometimes you have to hurt yourself to help yourself. This is going to be a messy year next year. They're going to hire somebody from within the staff. It's really late. They don't have a quarterback. Yes, but again, down the road it'll be good.
Sure, because he couldn't. The new coach wasn't able to take his staff to the Senior Bowl. They're getting a late start. If the collective bargaining agreement is not settled, as we believe, though, I think that will work to the advantage of the team.
Yeah, it's too late to put any kind of real staff together. The one thing you can do to try to save it, as Blackistone mentioned, is bring back Vince Young.
Blackistone.
That's what you got to do because right now you're starting from nothing.
You know, I don't know why.
They're not going to bring back Vince Young. Come on,
why not?
There's no way they're bringing back Vince Young.
Not, but he hasn't officially been released yet, so I guess anything's possible. I don't know why this is just striking me now, but Kalishaw, you kind of look like Jeff Fisher. It's a good look. It's a winning look.
I see it a little bit. Come on, try it. Come on.
That's the worst thing you've said about Fisher.
We're going to move on. Albert Pujols has told the Cardinals for his next contract he'd like something in the ballpark of 10 years, $300 million. That's what Jason Stark's reporting. Per year, that's double the $14.5 million he got just this past season. Here's the question, Tim Kalishaw. Is Pujols worth 10 years, $300 million?
No, nobody's worth that. I know he's the best hitter in baseball, but the only reason when A-Rod went to the Rangers, he was worth $250 million for 10 years was because he was 25 and a Gold Glove shortstop in addition to being that kind of power hitter. Everybody has a first baseman who's a good power hitter. Now, they don't hit at Pujols levels. I'm not saying that. But everybody has a good hitter there. You can't put that position, you can't put that kind of money on it to just blow out your salaries, with all on
so you say no for 10-300. How about you, Stone?
You know what? It's a whole lot of money, and it seems absolutely outrageous. And I was in Texas with Tim when A-Rod got $250 million. You know what? He's worth it. He's absolutely worth it to that franchise, to that city, everything he's done. We know about his great production, and you can structure these kind of deals so that so much of the money is up front and not at the end of his career when we know guys start to go into decline. But this guy has shown no hint of a guy who would suffer like that. We're not talking about Ryan Howard, who's fine. We're talking about a game changer, a generation type of player in our
Woody Page.
Tony, let me ask you a question. Is he 2.5 times better than Jason Worth? Of course he is. The guy has won 2 MVPs and finished second in the last 3 years. Over the last 10 years, 30 home runs, 100 RBI, just like clockwork. He's going to be able to play for another 10 years without any problem. He probably will set the real home run record. He's the face, just as Stan Musial was, of the Cardinals, and he will be for the next 10 years. And if you put him on the open market, there would be at least 6 teams that would pay him more than $300 million. And you got to go back to when he signed his previous contract.
Market value.
When he signed his previous contract, he took a hometown discount and he deferred money with no interest, so he's already bailed him out. It's his turn.
Woody, compared him to Jason Worth, it's like comparing apples and oranges. You can't compare him to A-Rod. It's the same thing. No, he plays first base. It's a different position. Tony, the highest paid first baseman right now, Mark Teixeira, $180 million to play first base for the richest team in baseball, the Yankees. Is Pujols worth $120 million more than that, than a first baseman for the Yankees? I think not. And I really hope that he deserves to should stay in St. Louis. St. Louis needs him. I hope Albert would realize this and maybe compromise, because there's no way, again, if Teixeira's making $180 million, Miguel Cabrera's making $150 million, first basemen don't go for that much money, fellas.
Woody can't say there are 6 teams that would pay more than $30 million a year. That's simply not true.
You know
People
what?
aren't paying that kind of money for anybody.
Page.
Oh, well, sure, the Angels would do it.
Maybe.
In a Texas Bowl.
Yankees, Red Sox, who else? The Mets, maybe? I mean,
nobody's going to pay him that.
That's just semantics, though. Blackistone.
Well, let's not forget, this is the first salvo, so this is the beginning of the negotiations. It may come down to be something like 8 years, $30 million each.
But the question, I guess, that's bigger than all this is, how does this play out in St. Louis? I mean, they've been a middle-of-the-road payroll team for quite some time, 90 million or so, 100 million or so for the payroll. Chances he doesn't finish his career with the Cardinals, Plashke. Right now, just throw out a number.
Zero chance he's going to finish his career. He'll realize nobody's going to pay him this money.
Zero chance. He's involved in a lot of charities there. They love him. He'll always
I'll say 5% chance. There's not much of a chance.
I say there's a big chance. That's where he started. That's where he'll finish.
Oh, no, big chance that's where he started, St. Louis. So you think there's zero chance that he leaves St. Louis.
Right,
okay.
exactly.
He's not a